because we're a hell of a lot more fun than Glee. You know, 1 in 6 Americans now are on the dole in some form. Oh, thank you, yes. That trendy piece of music, because we love to feature local DC bands, thank you very much, I don't want to bypass them, is one of our favorite friends in the show, the Keith Center of the Dreamscapes Project, and that track is called Still Love. Okay, Chandler, did you know that 1 out of every 6 Americans right now are actually on the dole of some kind, either on unemployment, welfare, and I think there might be including even the economic stimulus plan.
Yeah, no,
well.
We moved to Paris all of a sudden. In the middle of the night, we moved to fucking Paris.
So, folks, we are 2 women who are proud to say we are not on the dole of any kind. So we think that might be refreshing for some of you folks out there.
Well, it's gone. It was 1 in 10 are on food stamps, and now it's 1 out of 6 are on something. So,
oh, but the economy's still progressing. That's what Obama's taking credit for.
Right.
But we're doing better.
Biden keeps taking credit for it, but yeah.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. Well, I can't.
I love this experiment in socialism.
I have very few things on my current events because it's gone past chapping my ass. Like I'm actually depressed over it. I can't even speak on the matter. I just feel like I'm banging my head on a brick wall.
Oh, I have Xanax for you. Would that help?
Quite possibly, I'm going to need to crawl in the bottle. It's just pathetic out there. Absolutely pathetic.
Yeah, I'm pretty disgusted with this experiment in socialism myself. It's gross.
What else do we have?
Internationally, I find this sad, and I was actually somewhat impressed that the blog media was covering quite a bit of it, but I haven't heard any of it on the TV. Something very strange happened in Central Europe yesterday in a little town called Bratislava, which is the capital of a small, very quiet Central European country called Slovakia.
They had their own combine.
They had their first combine. It was very, very sad. I actually used to live in Bratislava. I was one of the first American civilians in Bratislava. I was there within 6 months when the Berlin Wall came down. And it was a very, very exciting time. And to a small nation of Slovakia, which only has 10 million people, and it's very, very quiet. They have the 2nd highest mountain range in all of Europe after the Alps, which not many people know about. And it's an hour. Bratislava is less than an hour away by car from Vienna, Austria.
Right.
So it's just this really quaint little town, and it's just, you know, it's worth a one-day trip if you're going out to Vienna.
Well,
that's what you want to do.
Our American papers weren't covering it.
No.
Everybody needs to get off the crutch of the American papers and look elsewhere. Al Jazeera English was covering it.
Yeah,
so.
BBC covered it. Actually, FoxNews.com covered it too, but they didn't do it, which I thought was really interesting. But what happened was they have a 50-year-old man who took a rifle, automatic rifle, and slaughtered 7 people. And hit another like 7 or 8 people, including a 3-year-old boy. And what's really sad about this is to hear what some of the Slovak people's comments are about this incident, which is, now this is like life in America. This is really sad. And it's sad to hear the kind of commentary, but I don't blame them.
Well, I don't understand why it's sad. First of all, we are not
immune to terrorism. You don't have this stuff in Slovakia.
Oh, fuck you do.
No, you don't. I lived there for 3 years. You don't have this stuff.
It's hiding under the surface.
Guns are not allowed in Slovakia.
Well,
this stuff happens, and that's the problem.
But you know what? Until 2011, we thought we were immune to terrorism, and guess what? We're fucking not either. So the entire world is not immune to whatever is ailing another country.
No, I know, but I mean, our innocence was lost with the JFK assassination, right? And so Europe, especially a quiet place like Central Europe, okay, well, understand, Slovakia was under the Iron Curtain for 60 years.
Well, I get it,
So this is part of the propaganda from the Soviets that they used to live with, which is, even though it might be, one of the great things about the Soviet rule of thumb is there's no violence, people don't die, we have arms control, we don't have any of this nonsense, not like the big bad West. Right.
Well, so, no, they got to put their big boy pants on.
Yes, they do.
And join the rest of the world.
So it's still very sad. So I'm in solidarity with you, Slovakia, as a moje srdce je v slovenským ľuďom. So my heart's with the Slovak people. So
welcome to your big boy pants.
Anyway, Chandler, interesting story about a Polish man living in Germany. He had a headache, went to the doctor.
What happened?
They found a bullet in his skull that apparently had been lodged in there 5 years ago. I know our DC Life magazine producers here in the studio, he's like, what? So this guy actually had a headache, went to the doctor, and they did some CAT scan tests, and they found this bullet that it was in his skull but did not penetrate through his brain. And then when they sat there, like, how did you get shot? Like, what the hell happened to him? He said, literally, the Polish man's response was something like,
He was in Slovakia.
Such an asshole. Oh, you American asshole.
I like that about our publisher's calling me an asshole now, but I'm sorry, you're taking forever with the story. I read it on Park.
no, he was, yeah, but our listeners may not necessarily have been doing that. He was actually in some New Year's Eve celebration 5 years ago, and when he was drunk off his ass, he vaguely remembered something hitting his head.
They were shooting bullets to this guy?
Yeah. So again, strangely,
to Latin America.
Again, no, this is Germany. So once again, I can't figure. You know where Latin America is, sweetie?
I know they do that every New Year's Eve. Like 5 people die in Latin America because those assholes go out there and they're shooting their guns off in the sky. A parade, they shoot their guns off in the sky, 3 people die, and they wonder how that happened.
Well, again, what's remarkable about this is Germany's another country where they pride themselves on not having arms, unlike the big bad West America. So I guess, you know, one of the reasons why the big bad West American culture is infiltrating into Europe. Yeah, get over yourselves, Europe. All right, so
well, I'll do mine. One thing that I'm not a big fan of Cuccinelli, and you know this.
yeah.
I'm not a big
Can I have my
fan
Sharpie,
of
please? My magenta Sharpie.
It's right there.
Oh, thank you.
I'm not a big fan of Cuccinelli. He's our district attorney, and
No, not district attorney, sweetie.
no, he's our general
Attorney General.
Attorney General, and I'm not a big
Republican.
fan of him because he wears the little baby feet on his lapel,
Right, the pro-life.
that are supposed to signify the death of a
10-week-old,
baby every
right.
time you have an abortion. I
Yes.
have always pledged that, and I've met him because I
Right.
refuse to go to any of his fundraisers, but I'm going to wear a lapel of a big fist on mine so he can see what it looks like when my boyfriend smacks him upside the head. But I actually am starting to like Cuccinelli
Okay, tell me why.
because he is now going after...
Oh, I saw that!
Yeah.
After University of Virginia. Tell us a story.
Well, he's going after, for fraud against the climate change. Now, the UK once, and I love this hacker, whoever did this, hacked in and, you know, told of the lies that the climate control people were fudging their stats.
So it was a leak.
So, Cuccinelli said, and you were using
Yeah.
UVA state funding programs to do it, to...
For the climatologists at UVA to, fraudulently use
Their
state
stats.
and federal dollars to fudge information.
to the tune of $500,000, so Cuccinelli's going after them. Now, the UK has been going after them. Their government is going after them. Their government
Who's them?
has...
Oh, the scientists.
Yes, has
Okay.
a probe open.
Really?
They have a council open. But
Really?
You're not reading it in the American fucking newspapers because the
No.
American newspapers are still, oh, well, cap and trade, this is a great thing.
Well, they're also a hardcore liberal, and no one wants to go after Al Gore.
Well-
Because we gave him the Nobel Prize, you see.
Well, we don't
Already,
give out the
already.
Nobel Peace Prize. Another country does that. But
I didn't
yes.
say we gave him to him. He's
Well,
got one.
Yes, he does. So
Yeah.
does Obama.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Wah, wah.
So what
I want
Cuccinelli
one.
is doing is he's actually going after them, and which I thought
But did you
It's
hear about the
pretty
judge's
good.
ruling?
the what?
Did you hear about the judge's ruling about that?
No, it hasn't come out yet.
Yeah, it has actually. Okay, so of the 5 grants that the University of Virginia received, that this particular professor, climatologist doing research at UVA, of the 5 grants, 4 of them are federal. So the judge ruled out that Cuccinelli is out of bounds and out of his jurisdiction. So the 4 grants are federal, so that's can't do that. But one of the grants is state funded, and the judge actually ruled that in UVA's favor. Unfortunately, because what they said is that they really felt that Cuccinelli did not clearly express and state, which I thought was odd, since the headline said it. I don't know how Cuccinelli's report
Right, it
didn't
says
state
what
it.
he's using his authority to empower him to investigate wrongful use of taxpayer dollars.
Right. Well, the judge is
Pretty
actually
damn clear.
the judge is doing judge activism and actually saying that the Attorney General does not have the right to assert a thinly veiled political agenda to overturn this whole climatology thing. Meanwhile, the professor has left UVA, probably as a result of this probe, I don't know, and then is now on staff at University of Pennsylvania. And University of Pennsylvania is backing this professor, saying that he will continue to do climatology research all in the name of bullshit liberal.
Well, he says, and that professor says some
Climatology.
lasting damage has been done because once government starts sticking their nose into scientific affairs,
Oh.
that, you know, the whole thing is gone up in smoke and the whole thing is, you know, liable to go into whatever category the, you know, politics go into. But, well, that's a fucking surprise, since the politicians have been using how they manipulated their stats to do cap and trade and to go all over the world. So, yeah, I think if you falsify documents, you should be taken to court.
Yep.
So I don't really understand where this hippie gets off, but I'd like to smack him.
I'm with you.
So, hey, when we come back, we'll do some more current affairs, and we've got our next guest coming up. So stay tuned, stay with us. I've got some more to rant about, and I'm sure Ray does too. We'll be right back.